De cuántas temporadas al año.
Sí. Pero creo que...
Le hubiera dicho, se enoja con esta, güey. No, me voltea la cara de cachetada.
Este no.
Sí. No, está bien, está bien.
No, ahorita no.
Es que me caga todo el con esto porque me quiero parar de puntitos para ver y ya no se ahí te estaba de puntitas. Qué triste, güey. ¿Quién es la morra esa? Su ex de hace un año. ¿Por qué no hace un año? No mames, no. Podré ser puta, pero no tanto. No, pues ya mamó, güey, ya atrás. A ver, ya está contigo. ¿Y Moni? Hola,
No trabajamos tanto, gastamos y nos chingamos tanto como para que... Ah, se van hasta el final con toda la raza. Sí, ya.
Los invitamos a tomar asiento, por favor.
¿Cómo estás?
no, vale, yo te dije. Güey, yo como... Fuimos atrás. Pero es por pesado, ¿no? No. Don Alfredo, güey. Botanita también. ¿Me veo si me paro aquí? No, ellos se ven, tú no te ves.
Les pedimos que vayan tomando asiento, por favor.
Una vez
Chicas, ustedes que se ven tan mal.
Ah, ya, mira.
A las personas que están en las gradas les invito a pasar a las sillas, por favor. Buenas tardes. Les recordamos que en cualquier caso de emergencia, el auditorio cuenta con 3 salidas. Una en la parte posterior y 2 en la parte derecha del escenario, por las que se les pide que evacúen de manera ordenada. A continuación le voy a ceder el micrófono a la directora de prepa.
Gracias. Buenas tardes a todos. Sean bienvenidos a este momento de simulación, una sesión pública que nos da mucho gusto presentar a ustedes, por eso la hacemos pública, a papás, a maestros de nuestro colegio, alumnos, exalumnos, alumnos de otros colegios que nos acompañan. Este ejercicio, Munio en general, y en este caso la sesión pública, son momentos que nos llenan de orgullo como colegio, que nos llenan de orgullo en la prepa, en la dirección académica, porque podemos demostrar a través de ellos el nivel que han alcanzado nuestros chicos, por un lado en las áreas de idiomas, pero por otro lado también en sus capacidades para debatir, en su comprensión de los problemas, en su criticidad, en la elaboración de juicios, en la toma de posturas. Munio es un ejercicio que el Instituto Oriente promueve porque tiene esa bondad. Es un ejercicio integral que pone muy a flor de piel lo que los alumnos del Instituto Oriente son. Sin más preámbulo, vamos a dar inicio a la sesión pública en la que esperamos todos los chicos puedan demostrar estas habilidades y que ustedes puedan disfrutar. Gracias.
Delegates, please all rise. On behalf of the Nodal of the United Nations Instituto Oriente, the English Academy, we welcome you to the public session of the 11th edition of Munio. Delegates, you may be seated. Now, I will introduce the members of the chair. To my right stands Mrs. Secretary for Logistics, Tirna Villa Bascal. To my left stands Mrs. Secretary for Committees, Renata Aguirre Medina. And I am Juan Pablo Callejas Roman, the Secretary General. Now give the word to Mrs. Secretary for Committees, Renata Aguirre.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. The first meeting of Munio General Assembly is called to order. The proposal for the provisional agenda for this meeting is the urgent necessity to combat climate change and its impacts. Delegates who vote for this topic, please raise your placards. The agenda is adopted.
In accordance with Rule 39 of the Assembly's Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite the following countries to participate in this meeting: Kingdom of Sweden, United States of America, French Republic, United Mexican States, People's Republic of China, Commonwealth of Australia. Seeing no objection, it is so decided.
The General Assembly will now begin its consideration of the item on its agenda. I now give the floor to the Kingdom of Sweden.
We all are witness and guilty of what is happening in our world, and we are not doing enough. The way we practice our food, the way we build our cities, our modes of transportation, electricity, almost everything we do have led to climate change. And that is the most significant issue of our time. We keep being indebted with catastrophic news in our social media about the environment every single day. And the problem seems to be getting worse. Entire ecosystems are in danger, along with the species, which some of them are getting extinct. The polar ice caps are melting. The seas have started to rise. There will be more dangerous weather patterns. Just recently, we have seen violence in Belize, Kenya, and all over East Africa, where hundreds of people tragically have lost their lives. The past year, hurricanes have demolished the Dianas, Mozambique, and historic wildfires have ravaged California and Australia. Furthermore, some tropical rainforest areas such as the Amazon and Southeast Asian rainforest in Indonesia have been threatened by setting international fires for economic purposes, and not least, many heat waves have killed coral reefs and life underwater. We all remember, have seen pictures or videos in the social media of a Swedish teenager called Greta Thunberg, who started protesting in front of the Swedish Parliament building, vowing to continue till the government have met the carbon emission target set out by World Representative in Paris 2015. Since her actions got viral, other strikes around the world to join her, raising the voice against leaders and citizens that have not made the best decisions to the crisis we face. How dare you, she said in her speech, to world leaders such as Donald Trump, Xi Jinping, and Jair Bolsonaro at the United Nations Climate Action Summit, accusing them of ignoring science, facts, and giving up with climate crisis. More transparency is required in each decision they make and disposal to join with countries and combat this problem together. Sweden has clear calls for action from the youth movement, from the scientists, and from all the sectors of society that committed to action at the United Nations Climate Action Summit, to the point that Prime Minister announced that Sweden will become the world's first fossil-free nation. As we move from words to actions, in June 2017, the Swedish Parliament adopted a climate policy framework containing a climate act that lays down principles and timetables for the government's actions. New ambitious climate goals and independent climate policy council tasked to review the government's policies. Sweden has begun its journey with a climate law, obligating us to reach net zero emissions by 2045. This goal reflects Sweden's climate leadership and shows that Sweden undertakes to achieve emission reduction of carbon dioxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases. Sweden aims to be a defender of developing countries by continuing supporting them by the Least Developed Countries Fund and double the contribution to the Green Climate Fund, both which finances emission reduction efforts for investments in renewable energy and energy efficiency, as well as practices on climate-smart agriculture, sustainable forest management, the building of climate-resilient societies in rural areas and coastal zones, and the strengthening of water resource management. We all are responsible for what is destroying our planet, no matter your age, race, religion, where are you from. This crisis affects everyone. I invite you to raise your voice, be conscious about the decisions we make in our daily lives. Vote for leaders who will fight climate change and to have the initiative to make a big change that will benefit all of us. There is no moment to take the action. There is no time left. It must be taken now. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Delegate. You are recognized to take your seat. I now give the floor to the United States of America.
All delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we meet here in an hour of challenges and international concern for our futures, for our children, in an era of progress unparalleled in human history, and, sadly, in an era of atrocious abuses. In a time of brilliant ideas, and at the same time, of terrible doubts. And so, It is in this doubt and fear in our hearts that we've looked at the problems of tomorrow and we search for the guilty in the today. We have simplified the solutions, and with simplifying the solutions, we simplify the issues. And when we simplify the issues, we minimize them. We have taken the path of least resistance. We seem to be searching for simple answers, even when the difficult ones, however elusive, are the most necessary. The United States has been called a nation of selfish men by many who don't share our ideals, and, more often than it should be, by our allies and nations we've lent a hand to. Yet, at the end of the world's longest and harshest conflict, the United States was tasked with rebuilding the free world, and to never allow a conflict of that nature and proportions ever to happen again. And it kept its promise, and it did so. It helped create an impartial agency that will keep this peace. Of course, the decisions of this organization not always favor the citizens of all the world. Yet, we take great pride in our accomplishments in and out of the United Nations, not only rebuilding Europe and Asia after this conflict, but also the very same nations that waged the conflict against my country. With the decay of the Soviet bloc came new challenges. Nations who were lured by the same answers of today found out about the harsh realities of a failed system. Poverty and hunger became everyday aspects of life for many. The Soviets were fast to respond. They blamed the free market, globalization, and the United States in this issue. Yet, the Americans responded more assertively. We created the biggest USA food program in history. According to Cavani Mafusa, head executive of World Vision, she estimates she was one of the 3 billion lives saved by this initiative. When deaths in tropical regions became the focus of global concern, the United States responded by delivering 1.9 billion vaccines, saving an estimated 743 million. And here we find ourselves again, facing a new challenge. Again, we are blamed for the issues of the world, for its pollution and overpopulation. But this time, it has been taking a step further. Some nations have started to say that American judgment is impaired. And as a representative of my nation, I must say, I have seen it take very hard decisions and choose very unpopular options. Yet I still await the day we stick to a wrong choice. America has embraced constant change because it trusts the youth to embrace the challenge of their era, just as every generation before them. It trusts the American spirit to never step down and let others take their choices. That is because we trust you, the delegates of this organization, which we have maintained generously, which we have maintained a long history of success with in cooperation. We trust you to find these hard solutions. We trust you not to fall in the lies of nations that pose as developing, yet carry an ambition never before seen. Already the UN has become the measure and vehicle of nations' impulses in the past. Yes, this time we say, we do not agree. And as other nations have uttered those same words, we anticipate the same respect. The United States leaders have seen through the masquerade of the Kyoto Agreement. They've read through the lines and they've voiced their concerns. And voiced their concerns with the attitude of the People's Republic of China. The world's second biggest economy still calls itself a developing nation, so as to not be binded by the restrictions and environmental policy the world has established. It's a self-developing nation, and it still receives $1 billion a year in aid. It still holds one of the world's smallest and underfinanced ministries of environmental policy, just 1/100th of a fraction compared to that of the United States. The reason that China seems to have been so eager to have the world sign this agreement seems very obvious to some. It convinced the world to reduce consumption of coal, and when the prices of coal dropped, China became the world's biggest buyer of coal. While the United States refused to sign this treaty, it reduced its percentage of global emissions from 33% to 14%. China, at the same time, grew its percentage of the global emissions to 1/3 of the world's.
Its coal-fueled economy grew at a higher pace than ever. And now, with geopolitical tensions rising again and the Chinese economy unstable by the tariff conflict, it wishes yet another agreement. Can we not infer what China wishes from this new agreement? This is but one of the reasons the United States can't sign an agreement that only binds itself and not its economical competitors. It sees the goodwill of the citizens being used for the sole benefit of a totalitarian regime, a force unknown, called by many activists of the world unethical, and called by the people of Hong Kong uncontrollable. As we have seen hundreds of times in history, no two nations can hold equal leadership in an issue, for order is replaced by chaos, leadership by anarchy, and action with paralysis. With that, this delegation wishes it brought a new perspective to the minds of the delegates here present. And when the time arrives, it expects the delegates not only to understand, but to side with the United States' efforts. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty. John F. Kennedy. Thank you for your time. Good night.
Thank you, Delegate. You are recognized to take your seat. I now give the floor to the French Republic.
L'homme se doit d'être le gardien de la nature, non son propriétaire. Félix Ammar. Aujourd'hui, dans cette assemblée publique du modèle des Nations Unies de l'Institut Orienté 2020, en représentant la République française, je suis très heureuse de pouvoir profiter de cette occasion pour aborder un sujet aussi important que la planète que nous habitons. Saviez-vous que 2019 a été la 2e année la plus chaude de l'histoire? Lors de la conférence de Paris, 195 pays ont adopté le tout premier accord universel sur le climat juridiquement contraignant. Son objectif était de prévenir un changement climatique alarmant en réduisant les émissions polluantes pour limiter la hausse des températures à 1,5 degré. Cependant, les actions faites au présent ne sont pas suffisantes. Les émissions de CO2 devraient être réduites de 7,6% de 2020 à 2030 pour atteindre l'objectif. Si les émissions se poursuivent au rythme actuel, la planète pourrait se réchauffer de 3,9 à 3,9 degrés d'ici à la fin du siècle. Les groupes de vent sont les responsables de 78% des émissions et la France en fait bien partie. La conférence de l'ONU sur le changement climatique s'est achevée le 15 décembre 2019 à Madrid. Malheureusement, seulement 80 pays se sont engagés à afficher des programmes stricts de réduction des émissions en 2020. L'écologie a été notamment priorisée par les Français au cours des 2 dernières années. Les canicules, les variations brutales de température, la pollution des grandes villes, la disparition de la biodiversité et les conséquences sur la santé sont la cause de cette préoccupation. Le projet de loi relative à la lutte contre le gaspillage et l'économie circulaire a été adopté par le Sénat et par l'Assemblée nationale le 19 novembre 2019. Au cours de l'examen de cette loi, la secrétaire d'État, Brune Poisson, a annoncé l'interdiction des emballages en plastique à usage unique. Il a été aussi voté l'interdiction et les pénalités financières pour les producteurs des emballages plastiques non recyclables. Le projet de loi prévoit également l'interdiction de l'élimination des invendus non alimentaires et ces produits seront orientés prioritairement vers le remploi, la réutilisation et le recyclage. En 2023, la loi prépare d'obliger les fast-foods à utiliser de la vaisselle réutilisable pour le repas et boissons consommés sur place. Ce sont enfin quelques mesures que le gouvernement français met en place pour lutter contre la crise environnementale. La planète fait un appel urgent à l'humanité. Les glaciers craignent leur existence. Les tempêtes et les inondations deviennent de plus en plus dévastatrices. La sécheresse et la désertification sont aussi présentes. Les plages reculent. La biodiversité s'effondre. Il est vraiment temps d'y réagir. Mais surtout, il n'est pas encore trop tard. Cette problématique n'exclut aucune nation. La participation de chaque pays aux soins du monde est cruciale. La France sait pouvoir compter sur vous. Un grand merci.
Thank you, Delegate. You're recognized to take your seat. I now give the word to the United Mexican States.
Mayo del 2019. México despertó con una crisis ambiental que amenazó con la salud de millones de ciudadanos. La causa, incendios forestales. La verdadera causa, el cambio climático. Buenas tardes a todos los presentes. La delegación mexicana les agradece, en representación del presidente de los Estados Unidos mexicanos, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, y del secretario de Relaciones Exteriores, Marcelo Luis Ebrard Casaubon. El motivo de la comparecencia de la delegación mexicana es el abordar una problemática que es probablemente el máximo conflicto a resolver en el futuro cercano. Abordar una problemática que nos concierne y afecta a todos por igual. Y es que el cambio climático y sus consecuencias han provocado efectos devastadores a lo largo de los recientes años al planeta entero, atentando contra la vida y salud, no solo de seres humanos, sino de millones de seres vivos, destrozando hectáreas y poniendo en riesgo varios ecosistemas y la estabilidad ambiental en distintas regiones del mundo. Los dos casos más recientes de desastres ambientales que han generado un impacto global han sido los incendios del Amazonas e inundaciones e incendios en el sur de Australia. En el caso del Amazonas, la Secretaría de Relaciones Exteriores ofreció su apoyo a los países afectados por los incendios, así como buscó dar mayor visibilidad a la catástrofe. La delegación mexicana quisiera agradecer y expresar su apoyo a las múltiples organizaciones no gubernamentales que se dedicaron y actualmente se dedican a brindar apoyo y ayuda a las zonas de catástrofe ambiental. A la delegación mexicana le gustaría recalcar que el principal responsable de este problema es el sistema neoliberal salvaje, el cual ha destrozado a través de un sistema económico lineal de producción los recursos económicos y naturales durante las últimas décadas. Un sistema capitalista que ha formado una sociedad de consumo excesivo que ha llevado a la producción de desechos y residuos no biodegradables a un nivel insostenible. Las multinacionales son hoy en día las mayores responsables de la producción y emisión de contaminantes al ambiente que aceleran la tragedia ambientalista día tras día. El sistema neoliberal es la causa y justificación de estas empresas para seguir explotando los recursos de las naciones en vías de desarrollo, aprovechándose de dichas naciones para instalar ahí sus centros de producción ante las pocas restrictivas leyes ambientales, por la necesidad de atraer la inversión industrial extranjera y así buscar una mejora de su economía que ayude a sus habitantes a abandonar las condiciones precarias en las que se encuentran por culpa de aquellos pocos beneficiados a costa de la salud del planeta entero. Es sabido por todos los países que los países que más aportan a la contaminación ambiental son China y Estados Unidos, responsables aproximadamente del 45% de la contaminación global, así como es sabido que los gobiernos de varias delegaciones aquí presentes mantienen una postura escéptica y poco ambientalista ante el cambio climático, como lo es el gobierno de Australia, cuyos planes económicos giran alrededor de convertirse en uno de los mayores productores de hidrocarburos, todo esto a costa de destruir la vida y salud de millones de personas en vías de países de desarrollo. Delegados, cada segundo que pasa es un segundo menos de vida para el planeta y todos los seres que forman parte de él. Nos encontramos ante la necesidad de actuar de inmediato si queremos alargar la vida de la Tierra. Quizás no experimenten directamente las consecuencias de un aire envenenado, ni la escasez de agua limpia en cantidades justas para una calidad de vida mínimamente aceptable. Pero de seguir por este camino, pronto todo el planeta se verá inmerso en estas condiciones paupérrimas e inhumanas. Las generaciones mayores no actuaron a tiempo. Ahora, las generaciones actuales tienen la responsabilidad de buscar soluciones para detener el avance del cambio climático y la inevitable hecatombe ecológica causada por el hombre y su modo de vida. El camino por el que vamos es un camino corto y sin salida, un camino que significará el fin de la raza humana. El poco conocimiento e interés de la gente ante esta problemática solo beneficia al aumento de la contaminación indiscriminada, liderada por las grandes empresas en una cadena donde cada uno de nosotros es el motor de impulso para seguir destruyendo el planeta. El cambio está en todos. Pensemos en el planeta que las siguientes generaciones heredarán. Pensemos en la vida de millones de seres vivos que se encuentran en riesgo por culpa del humano. Pensemos en la posibilidad y en la esperanza de poder hacer un cambio y así salvar al planeta de la mayor catástrofe a la que se ha enfrentado. Por su atención, gracias.
Thank you, Delegate. You're recognized to take your seat. I now give the word to the People's Republic of China.
Good afternoon, Secretary General, fellow leaders, delegates, and all the people joining us today. Climate change has overtaken us. According to the United Nations 2030 Agenda, nations were supposed to look forward to take urgent action in order to combat climate change. But what is the world doing now in order to accomplish this goal? If we stop for 1 second and think about it, there are 10 years left from now to 2030 in order to accomplish this. And it seems nobody is doing anything, neither politicians, neither leaders, neither citizens, no one. By the end of 2019, Australia was facing one of the worst climate crises the world had ever seen. And it stopped when everybody started working together. And tell me why nations and people have to wait until something like that happens in order to work together, if we were supposed to do it since the agenda was released. China's environmental crisis is emerging at the same time than China's economy and has become the world's largest source of carbon emissions. In 2013, Beijing suffered from a prolonged bout of smog that citizens called an airpocalypse. In 2013, China was responsible of 27% of global greenhouse emissions. Industry and urbanization were the principal causes of China's environmental crisis, increasing water and demands. According to an article written in 2016 by the Council of Foreign Relations, this climate crisis represented China between the 3 and 10% of its gross domestic product. And I mentioned before, China's economy has grown in an incredible pace. And nowadays, China's government found a way to keep its socio-economic development and to fight climate crisis. China has adopted some measures in order to fight the climate change and to keep this socio-economic development. Citizens of the world, it is time to make real action. It is time to keep working towards these targets in order to leave a better world for future generations. If we already started working together in order to save Australia, we can make it and accomplish all the treaties, the agenda, and the conferences all the world has signed, because it is not only a matter of politicians, of governments or enterprises. It is about our house, our earth. People, keep working towards the known. Please take serious actions in order to save our planet. Let's start working together and helping others in order to leave the next generations a healthy planet and a stronger society. Let's do it. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Delegate. You're recognized to take your seat. I now give the word to the Commonwealth of Australia.
Good afternoon, fellow delegates. Today, in the name of Scott Morrison, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Australia, this delegation would like to talk about such an important topic as it is today, climate change. Australia is suffering a natural crisis due to climate change, just like the delegation of Brazil, which recently had the Amazonian jungle disaster in the same year. Since September 2019, Australia has been facing this crisis. Bushfires has always been a problem to Australia, but this year has been the worst. More than 1 billion animals, such as birds, reptiles, or mammals, are dead and are pushed to extinction. But the survivors from the fires are not safe yet due to lack of food and habitat. Bushfires, unprecedented in size and scale, have burned more than 46 million acres, killed 29 people approximately, including 1 fireman, and have left 200 to 1,000 people without a home. It is said that the air in some places of this delegation have had the worst quality due to these fires, and the smoke is spreading to other countries, such as the delegation of Chile and Argentina, and the smoke from the fires generate tons of carbon dioxide, which is one of the gases from greenhouse effect that contributes to climate change, making this situation a non-stopping cycle. Australia have had rain on the past few days as an effort from nature to try to shut the fires down, but despite the fact the temperature has decreased from almost 50 degrees to over 20 after the rain, the temperature will eventually rise again. This tragedy was caused mostly because of the Indian Ocean dipole, commonly known as the Indian Niño, which indicates the temperature of the ocean surface. It has a huge impact on natural disasters and can have more impact on climate change for the next years, because it also generates a lot of CO2, increasing every time. If these emissions continue going up, these type of natural disasters will be more common. Despite these natural phenomena, CO2 is still increasing because of humanity, and these two combined makes the Earth to be every time hotter. That is happening to this delegation. It is getting hotter. Firemen from this country have been struggling trying to shut down the fires from the ground and also by air on helicopters. And as a way of solidarity, firemen from all around the world traveled to this delegation to help out. The United States of America, Canada, and New Zealand are clear examples of it. Also, Australians have got together as a community to try to go out and volunteer to help with animal rescue and bushfires. Prime Minister has promised to give 1.243 million euros to a national fund created specially for the actual bushfires to help people who have lost their house or their store and farmers. But despite the efforts, actual government from this country is not capable enough of making awareness of the chaos Australia is going through. Today, I am here not to talk about how great this delegation is or how other nations are doing for nature, but to mention that this giant conflict between us and nature is nothing but our fault. And we as nations just have 1 decade, no more than 10 years, before damage becomes irreversible. Today is a good day to start making a remarkable change and awareness before it is too late. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Delegate. You're recognized to take your seat.
Having listened to the position of the previous countries, there are no more names inscribed on the speakers list. Therefore, I invite the delegates here present to ask some questions to the UN representatives. Delegates who want to participate, please raise your placards. Yes, delegate number 5, Luis Gabriel Sanchez.
To the delegation of United States. As the delegation of United States said, the nation has been the principal promoter of new solutions around the history. However, it is seen that this country is going backwards by implementing all measurements for keeping up with the same actions, such as protectionism, a constant increase in debt, and something really important, total indifference to environmental resources. These are three of the biggest concerns of the world right now, and we cannot just focus on one, because they are deeply related. My question is, why is the United States having other options, not just given by the international community, but a national shareholder initiative, like it is the New Green Deal, continuing to use the same policies and economical strategies that harm in a very incurable way the environmental resources? Is the United States open to implement an integral solution for its problem? Why? Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. I invite now the United States representative to answer the question. United States, you have the word.
Okay, very interesting question. Let's start by the first phrase. The delegate says, quote, "The United States goes backwards in its old measurements." Well, yes, as it may sound, the United States does use old measurements. GDP growth is an old measurement. Inflation rate is an old measurement. Unemployment rate is an old measurement. So old, yet effective that all the worlds use it. When a delegate says America has kept the concerning act of protectionist policies, he is just stating outright a wrong fact. Before 2016, the United States had not officially put into place a protectionist policy since the 1964 chicken tax on West Germany. How do you keep doing something you hadn't done before in the last 55 years? Does this committee really want to know who has been keeping protectionist policies? The European Union has kept agricultural protectionist policies to not compete with developing nations, while at the same time criticizing the United States in a completely incoherent attitude. If protectionist policies are so deeply related to environmental harm, as it is said, why are we not seeing action against the European Union? This is the reason the United States of America finds options given by international community just poorly disguised efforts rather filled with interest than actual care for the planet. And now that the Green New Deal is mentioned, let's talk about it. The deal promises, and this is directly from its creator, Bernie Sanders, that it will solve the climate crisis, reduce the emissions of the United States to zero, create green jobs for everyone, free health care, free university programs, and affordable housing. All of this sounds perfect, just at the modest price of $50 to $90 trillion. To put that into a perspective, that's 50 or 90 times the value of Apple, 20 to 30 times the value of the whole city of New York, 25 years of all the federal US budget put together. Calling it a utopia is underrated. And finally, when a delegate says that the United States uses the same economical strategies that harm incurably, it asks this delegate, which of all the economical policies? The Keynesian models of the 60s, the Reaganomics of the 80s, the fiscal contraction policies of the 90s, the expansionary policies of the 2000s, or the free market and protectionist policies of the 2010. Does this delegate really have strong arguments against all of these that they harm the environment, or he just believe that because he holds a bias towards any form of American economy? The answer then is, are we willing to implement an integral solution to this problem? Yes. Is it any of the ones listed in this question? No. Thank you, Chair.
Delegates who want to participate, please raise your placard. Yes, delegate number 2, Andrea Martinez.
Ma question est pour la République française. Donc, certaines lois à propos de l'environnement ont déjà été mises en œuvre et que certains accords ont déjà été adoptés. Quelles sont les mesures pour réduire les émissions de CO2 de transport, étant donné que ce sont l'une des principales causes de ces émissions?
Thank you, Delegate. I now invite the French Republic representative to answer the question. France, you have the word.
Merci, Présidence. Depuis 2018, les émissions polluantes ont commencé à diminuer. La réduction a été de 4,2%. Néanmoins, la France n'est pas encore satisfaite. Notre nation continue à travailler pour l'environnement. En 2019, le Parlement et le Conseil européen sont parvenus à un accord provisoire pour réduire les émissions des poids lourds. L'objectif était que le nouveau poids lourd soit à zéro ou faible émission en 2015. Il devrait aussi compter avec des dispositifs embarqués permettant de contrôler la consommation réelle de carburant ou d'énergie des véhicules. Merci, Présidence.
Delegates who want to participate, please raise your placards. Yes, delegate number 6, Sara Salazar.
Delegado, usted ha externado la preocupación que concierne a los Estados Unidos mexicanos en torno a la crisis ambiental que actualmente estamos presenciando. Ha culpado al sistema neoliberal y la constante explotación de recursos que sufren los países que se encuentran en vías de desarrollo. Pero el modelo de explotación extractivista y las leyes ambientales tan flexibles que sostienen a la economía mexicana solo nos demuestran que buscar alternativas que colaboren a los planes para disminuir el impacto ambiental no es una de sus prioridades. No se puede impulsar una estrategia de cambio climático para reducir la emisión de gases y, por el otro lado, incentivar proyectos riesgosos que traerán como consecuencia el aumento de explotación del medio ambiente con el fin de beneficiar económicamente a los sectores socialmente más privilegiados. Siendo conscientes de que el motor económico de México consiste en actividades dañinas y destructivas para el medio ambiente, la pregunta es la siguiente. ¿Cómo se compromete México y sus representantes a crear un modelo dinámico y sostenible que contribuya a la estrategia de neutralidad climática de la Organización de las Naciones Unidas sin afectar su propia economía?
Thank you, delegates. I invite now the United Mexican States representative to answer the question. Mexico, you have the word.
Gracias, Mesa. Gracias, delegada, por la pregunta. Asimismo, quisiera recordarle a usted y a todos los presentes que México, a diferencia de otros países aquí presentes, todavía pertenece a los acuerdos de París y como tal se ha comprometido a reducir en un 60% sus emisiones de carbono para el 2040. Asimismo, me gustaría recalcar a todos aquí presentes que México es pionero en el tema ambiental, impulsados por los proyectos de la Semarnat realizados durante años anteriores y que siguen en curso. Asimismo, México es sabido que es uno de los países más biodiversos del mundo, por lo cual no tendría ningún sentido acabar con una riqueza natural tan importante como la que pertenece a la nación. Si sus preocupaciones vienen por los proyectos como el Tren Maya o el aeropuerto, déjeme recordarle que se han realizado estudios ambientales que han demostrado que dichos proyectos son viables y no van a causar daños importantes y significativos al ambiente. Asimismo, quisiera recordar sobre su pregunta mencionada, las empresas extranjeras son las principales responsables de los daños ecológicos en México. Empresas que llegaron en gobiernos anteriores, gobiernos neoliberales, gobiernos que atentaban contra la salud del planeta. Todos podremos recordar cuando envenenaron los ríos en el norte de México, o cuando hubo un derrame en el Golfo de México, que significó una primera crisis importante para la región. Asimismo, sobre otros acuerdos, así como otras iniciativas de ley, todos sabrán que México está impulsando varias leyes, como las leyes contra plásticos de solo un uso, o contra las leyes de Unicel, por lo cual México quisiera recalcar que está haciendo su parte, protegiendo la naturaleza de la manera posible, y aunque se le ha orillado a realizar ciertos proyectos que pueden generar preocupación en los habitantes, siempre están respaldados por los estudios ambientales. Muchas gracias por su pregunta.
Gracias, delegado. Gracias, Mesa.
Thank you, delegates. Delegates who want to participate, please raise your placards. Yes, delegate number 4, Daniela Lopez.
The delegation of Australia shared a worrying number of species that have been lost in the fires of the country. However, it also mentioned that the surviving ones are not yet safe. As they move to a habitat different from their own, the risk of them going extinct increases. So the question is, as this is one of the most, if not the most, pressing matter Australia is facing today, does the country have any clear plans to prevent these surviving species from dying?
Delegate, I invite now the Commonwealth of Australia representative to answer the question. Australia, you have the word.
In response to the delegate, Australia does not have a concrete project for that because of 3 important things happening right now on this delegation. First, bushfires are still happening and it's far from what the firemen can manage. So first of all, we need to stop and try to shut the fires down, as I've been mentioning. Second of all, a lot of people have lost their homes and everything they had, and now they are living on the beach or under bridges and trying to survive. So, as I mentioned before, Prime Minister has promised to invest on Australia's population to help them go out. And finally, and personally most importantly, first we need to try to help the animals that are still alive. because a great number of animals have died. So we have to rescue them, not necessarily on a natural habitat, but somewhere else far from the bushfires so they are not in danger anymore. And try to make them be safe so we can help with the number of animals that were dead and try to make them reproduce. So when they are safe and fires are not something happening in Australia, this delegation will develop an action plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate.
You. Delegates who want to participate, please raise your placards. Yes, delegate number 1, Alessandra Baroni.
In 2013, China obtained 9.8% of its energy through non-polluting sources. Subsequently, in 2014, the country pledged to expand the consumption of these energies to 20% by 2030. And in order to achieve this, the nation commented that by 2020, the present year, it would increase to 15%. My question is this a reality today?
Thank you, delegates. I invite now the People's Republic of China's representative to answer the question. China, you have the word.
Thank you, President. Thank you, Delegate, for the question. Since 2015, China has apported to the world's renewable energies the 15% of all the nations. And last year, 2019, all the energy of China, almost the 40%, the 37.2% of China's energy was produced by renewable energy. So now that we are still in the first month of the year, and as I stated in the speech before this session of questions, yeah, this is going to be a real thing. China's objective for 2030 is going to happen. And well, China is inviting all the nations to bring technology and evolution for the present. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you, delegates. Delegates who want to participate, please raise your placards. Yes, delegate number 3, Carlos Perez.
To the delegation of Sweden. According to the President of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, every economic market has indicated that we're on the brink of a new international Great Depression. Knowing this and the risks of enclosing an economy in a globalized market, how is Sweden taking the luxury of spending countless amounts of economic and human resources in environmental laws and policies that will eliminate fossil fuel from the country's market, and that will isolate Sweden from the international fossil fuel industry, which is worth trillions of dollars?
Thank you, delegate. I invite now the Kingdom of Sweden's representative to answer the question. Sweden, you have the word.
Thank you. Well, more than half of the energy used in Sweden comes from renewable energy sources. This industry is growing really faster. Sweden is confident that the international energy market will fall in favor of clean energy, and this will attract investment towards Sweden's advance in renewable energy. Sweden believes that the independence from fossil fuels market could protect us in case of an economic crisis. These measurements are not a luxury. They are an invest in the future of the economy and the planet. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Since there is no more time left, we will proceed with the reading of the General Assembly's resolution of this session. I now yield the word to the Secretary for Committees, who will read the resolution. Resolution adopted by the General Assembly of Munio on 23 January 2020. The urgent necessity to combat climate change and its impacts. The General Assembly, recalling the previous protocols and efforts done by the international community in order to combat climate change and its effects, acknowledging that the world is now at a turning point, according to various experts, including the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Deeply regretting that the human footprint on the planet has caused an inestimable impact due to greenhouse gases, thus causing an increase of 0.85 Celsius degrees in the global temperature of the planet in a century, as well as a 19-centimeter raise in a global average sea level, reaffirming the importance of the preservation of the world's biodiversity, its ecosystems, the protection of numerous species, the need of living in a clean environment as a human right, and the defense of public health. Fully aware of the necessity to prevent the average world temperature from rising by more than 1.5 Celsius degrees, since that could have catastrophic consequences involving the total loss of coral reefs, acidification of the oceans, and increasing their average level by 10 centimeters within the next century. Further invites all nations to search different ways to develop sustainable transport and energy systems in order to reduce the combustion of greenhouse gases. Authorizes the promotion of global efforts to address and manage the impacts and risks of climate change, particularly in the most vulnerable communities and nations. Encourages the countries to ensure that the policies and measures taken design a just transition for those whose jobs and livelihoods will be impacted by the transition towards a carbon-neutral world. Recommends the international constant action and cooperation so as the 1.5 Celsius degrees temperature rise limit will not be exceeded. Reminds the importance of the alignment of the financial flows with the goals of previous agreements on climate change, as well as of guaranteeing that fossil fuels and not people are taxed. Decides, due to its importance, to remain actively seized of the matter. 23rd January 2020. I now yield the word to the Secretary General.
Résolution adoptée par l'Assemblée générale de Munio le 23 janvier 2020. La nécessité urgente de lutter contre le changement climatique et ses impacts. L'Assemblée générale, rappelant les protocoles précédents et les efforts déployés par la communauté internationale afin de lutter contre le changement climatique et ses effets, consciente que le monde est maintenant à un moment décisif selon des divers experts, y compris les groupes intergouvernementaux des experts sur le changement climatique, IPCC, déplore que l'empreinte humaine sur la planète a causé un impact inestimable en raison de gaz à effet de serre, causant ainsi une augmentation de 0,85 degrés Celsius de la température mondiale de la planète en un siècle, ainsi qu'une augmentation de 19 cm du niveau moyen mondial de la mer. Réaffirmant l'importance de la préservation de la biodiversité mondiale et des écosystèmes, de la protection de nombreuses espèces, du besoin de vivre dans un environnement propre en tant qu'environnement et la défense de la santé publique, ayant à l'esprit la nécessité d'empêcher la hausse de la température moyenne mondiale de plus de 1,5 degrés Celsius, car cela pourrait avoir des conséquences catastrophiques telles que la perte totale des récifs coralliens, l'acidification des océans et l'augmentation de leur niveau moyen de 10 cm au siècle prochain. Invite toutes les nations à rechercher différentes façons de développer des systèmes de transport d'énergie durable afin de réduire la combustion de gaz à effet de serre. Autorise la promotion des efforts mondiaux pour traiter et gérer les impacts et les risques sur le changement climatique, en particulier dans les communautés et les nations les plus vulnérables. Encourage les pays à veiller à ce que les politiques et les mesures prises conçoivent une transition juste pour ceux dont les emplois et les moyens de subsistance seront touchés par la transition vers un monde neutre en carbone, recommande l'action et la coopération constante au niveau international afin que la limite de 1,5 ne soit pas dépassée, rappelle l'importance de l'alignement des flux financiers sur les objectifs des accords antérieurs sur le changement climatique, ainsi les objectifs et les accords, ainsi que la garantie que le combustible fossile et non les personnes seront taxés. Décide, en raison de son importance, de demeurer activement saisi de la question. 23 janvier 2020. Merci beaucoup. Now, I yield the word to Triana Villa-Bascal, Secretary for Logistics.
Resolución adoptada por la Asamblea General de Munio el 23 de enero del 2020. La urgente necesidad de luchar contra el cambio climático y sus impactos. La Asamblea General, recordando los protocolos y esfuerzos previos realizados por la comunidad internacional para combatir el cambio climático y sus efectos, reconociendo que el mundo está ahora en un punto de no retorno, según varios expertos, incluido el panel intergubernamental sobre el cambio climático, notando con profunda preocupación que la huella humana en el planeta haya causado un impacto inestimable debido a los gases de efecto invernadero, causando un aumento de 0.85 grados centígrados en la temperatura global del planeta en un siglo, así como un aumento de 19 centímetros en el nivel promedio del mar a nivel mundial. Reafirmando la importancia de la preservación de la biodiversidad en el mundo, sus ecosistemas, la protección de numerosas especies, la necesidad de vivir en un ambiente limpio, en tanto que un derecho humano y la defensa de la salud pública, consciente de la necesidad de evitar que la temperatura mundial promedio aumente en más de 1.5 grados centígrados, ya que eso podría tener consecuencias catastróficas, incluyendo la pérdida total de los arrecifes del coral, la acidificación de los océanos, el aumento de su nivel promedio en 10 centímetros para el próximo siglo, invita a todas las naciones a buscar diferentes formas de desarrollar sistemas de transporte y energías sostenibles para reducir la combustión de gases de efecto invernadero. Autoriza la promoción de esfuerzos globales para abordar y gestionar los impactos y riesgos del cambio climático, particularmente en las comunidades y naciones más vulnerables. Anima a los países a garantizar que las políticas y medidas adoptadas diseñen una transición justa para aquellos cuyos trabajos y medios de vida se verán afectados por la transición hacia un mundo neutral en carbono. Recomienda la constante acción y cooperación internacional para que no se supere el límite de aumento de temperatura de 1.5 grados centígrados. Recuerda la importancia de alinear los flujos financieros con los objetivos de los acuerdos anteriores sobre el cambio climático, así como de garantizar que los combustibles fósiles y no las personas serán gravados. Decide, por su importancia, seguir ocupándose activamente del asunto. 23 de enero del 2020. Thank you. I now yield the word to the Secretary for Committees, Renata Aguirre, who will hold the voting process.
Representatives, please raise your placards and say how would you like to establish your vote, in favor, against, or abstention. Kingdom of Sweden. United States of America.
Against.
French Republic.
A favor.
United Mexican States.
A favor.
People's Republic of China.
Abstention.
Commonwealth of Australia.
In favor.
In this way, with 4 votes in favor, 1 against, and 1 abstention, the resolution of the United Nations General Assembly is approved. I will now make some remarks on my president capacity. The presidency of the General Assembly thanks all the delegations present for their time and disposition to reflect upon the critical situation that nations are living nowadays. The United Nations General Assembly is officially closed.
Munio's 2020 organizing team is highly grateful for your presence and reminds you that change relies within ourselves. Thank you.
Finalmente, nos gustaría agradecer la presencia de los padres de familia y los delegados en esta asamblea pública. Nos gustaría reiterar que aquí se demuestra el trabajo de nuestros alumnos, el trabajo que se realiza usualmente en las sesiones. Y bueno, agradecemos mucho su presencia. Esperamos que haya sido de su agrado esta sesión pública. A todos los delegados los invitamos a pasar a sus comités. Gracias.